Welcome to Mandulo's Sacred Conversations, where we come to help each other recalibrate the nervous system and rewire the brain through many modalities. This work that I do is so diverse, so it's open to anyone who has the willingness to receive and the ability to listen and see where this information helps you too. So please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you can know for future when I'll be posting and sharing more content. Today's topic is about the pain and the beauty of the healer, the artist, the teacher. For me, the artist, the teacher, if you can teach, if you can create art, you're a healer. If you're a healer, you're an artist. If you're an artist, you're a teacher. It's the same. It's they intertwine. All of these things are interconnected in such a beautiful way. What I had said about the pain that lies within being a healer, an artist, a teacher, is that you must first go through the deep dive, becoming an example of what not to do before you are an inspiration of what is possible. So what happens here is that the people you grew up with, they are experiencing your wounds. So they are only and can only see you in that light from your wounds. And also they were there in your life to help you heal those wounds in order for you to become an inspiration for others who have not been so intimately involved with your wounds and your pain, and how your healing might have also caused them pain too, because your healing could be a reminder of what they couldn't do, that they didn't have the capacity to be able to do what you did. So there's pain that sits there. And then there is absolute vulnerability from the exposure of your life. And this is almost like just the unveiling of your pain and how you think. Yet at the same time, the unveiling of your pain, because you have the ability now to share, the beauty of that is how you translate that language into the most beautiful story. That's the vulnerability, that you expose yourself enough to share the goodness of the gift that you've been gifted to share with the world, and then have that evaluated, and then have that play a role in your sense of worth and value, your time expenditure, your energy exchange that you've been able to take over these years, self-mastery and mastering this gift that you have. So another thing is, as an artist, a healer, and a teacher, you are a channel to the divine. Whatever you call the divine, the divinity that created all of this existence, rests in us all. And we are connected to that. Our bodies are our temples, which are portals, So when you are a portal, you are the gateway, and you hold the key to the gateway between the spirit world and the physical world. It is, for me, I feel one of the most beautiful things to recognize that you are a portal, to recognize that you are a channel and that you are a gatekeeper. And if you realize that role and the responsibility, then again, what happens in this alchemy of pain into beauty is that for some along the path, if they don't have the support, the correct support, if they don't have the capacity, unfortunately, not being able to respect what has been gifted to you can be taken away. It almost like reminds me of the parables, the parable of the I forgot what it's called, but there's this story where the talents, the parable of the talents, where I think it's like a talent and then a 3 and then the 1, and the servants, the 5, whatever value system that was, put it to work and doubled it. Same thing with the 3 talents, if I'm correct. And then the 1 hid the 1 talent away. And I'm not sure if it was Jesus who came back or it was another, like someone else that they were serving. But he came back and he said, even that which you have, that little that you have will be taken away. And what does that mean? For me, it feels what that means, it holds a lot of energy of gratitude, because if you aren't grateful for what you have, then you're going to lose what you have, because your focus and attention is on what you don't have, and that is empty, right? So it's a parable that teaches us about be appreciative that you are living in your one of your dreams and one of your prayers, in fact, and to be able to sustain, pray for sustenance, to be able to continue the path as you learn how to refine alignment of becoming that portal between the spirit world and the physical world. And fortunately or unfortunately, we learn from each other's experiences, and we get to learn that if you don't understand the spiritual connection, it can be quite heavy for some people to take on that responsibility of sharing information from the spirit world. And then I wrote down here too, your work then leans itself into first understanding who you are by who you are not. So hence this experience of your pain and what you've had to come through, your family lines, the generational curses that you are breaking, the cords that you are cutting within your bloodline, having to first understand that that takes time, you know, and it's everybody's role and responsibility. It's just about capacity. Do you have the capacity? Do you have that deep reverence and respect for the divine source energy, that which has created you into this being? Do you have that reverence enough to get your life in order so that you are channeling with more ease, that you are igniting the presence of God in this space, you know, and you are part of those who are reminding us who we are. You are part of those who are going to play a role in history, who are reminding us about our power. And it's a very special role. We all have it. We just have different capacities. So to understand first who you are not, that's the once you understand who you are not and then you understand who you are, the next role, okay, let me actually break it up into this. It's first, understand who you are not. And understanding who you are not comes from your conditioning, your fear-based, your survival-based energy, your chaos, the level of toxicity that you've come from your foundation, your guardians, your and guardians can be anything, anyone who has been guarding you along the way and has had that responsibility in some way or form, right? So now having to move past that conditioning, even though that conditioning was a condition of loyalty, your loyalty to them versus your loyalty to spirit, greater divine, you know? And that's I was actually in an earlier conversation talking about loyalty and love, and it extends across all board, because what happens, or what ends up happening in relationship is we have two choices. We actually have multiple, but we tend to extend them to two choices between loyalty and love. And usually loyalty wins, because loyalty is belonging to family. It's my peace and my sense of worth is based on this foundation of family. And love is this romance too that has a conditioning as well. But what wins at the end of the day is your loyalty, because your loyalty is your safety. And even if you found someone after your healing phase and your healing journey, really, you found someone who is safe. Sometimes, for some, it would feel like it's not safe because of the loyalty. When your nervous system is so used to chaos, safety becomes what you think is chaos, because it's not you. Your nervous system is not used to that energy. So it becomes nervous. It becomes agitated. And then you go back into the whole, who am I? And then you go back into thinking who I am not is actually who I am. And that goes into your conditioning and your sense of loyalty. So more often than not, you'll choose loyalty over love. And why I say there's multiple ways of looking at this is because we have different definitions of what loyalty is, based off of society and based off what we have experienced within ourselves with that word. Because remember, words are spells. They hold vibration. Everything is energy. So depending on your association with that energy, it's going to impact the way in which you have taken up, the energy of that word. So that's one thing. And the diversity that you have as an artist and a teacher and a healer is the language you will be learning to be able to translate for us on the other side. So even if we can all tap into the spirit world, you have specific things to come share. You have specific messages to come relay here to us on earth. And that's where you might be categorized as the misfit, the person who is misunderstood, because your loyalty is not necessarily towards earthly things. Your loyalty is to that which gives you life. It's that fire which burns within you. It's that passion that you just know when you are creating, when you are using your hands and you're using your gifts the way in which it's a specific signature for you to be able to translate that message from the spirit world for us, because we all have our different ways in which we understand it. And by understanding your way a little bit better, perhaps it can shed light on my way a little bit better, So we've come to also support each other in that way by sharing stories. The more we share them, the more we allow the sense of vulnerability to just flow over in our work, in whatever body of work that we have. Then it gives everybody more confidence to be able to become more clearer channels in the support of the the divinity that we are like co-creating with the divine. It's beautiful work to be an artist, a healer, and a teacher, because you are a translator. You are translating God, trying to give description to this bigger thing that just keeps us going. And we don't necessarily know where, but we just know we are playing such an important role in history together as artists. So really, more than anything, is to help you understand that interlink between artist, teacher, healer, and to understand that your pain and being that misfit and being misunderstood, and then having to battle between your inner love for the divine and God and not knowing how to fully express it, having to go through that path of betraying yourself to fit in to something where people actually don't accept you, but they want to keep you defined to the sense of loyalty going on in the physical existence, right? But it's all part of it. So an encouragement to heal the wounds so you can become better temples or have clearer temples in order to be the channels in the best possible way that you can. Specifically, if you do feel called to work with me, to my path, I guess, or my part in your story is just helping you. If you're struggling to see the beauty in your pain from where you are, is to help you with that, is to help you alchemize, is to help you bring you back to safety, like to have a safe nervous system. It feels good, guys. The peace. When they talk about that peace that surpasses your own understanding. When you have a safe nervous system and you have the skills to be able to use them when you are disconnected and your nervous system is acting up, and you know how to bring yourself back into safety, that's deep empowerment. And if you're looking to be empowered, you can work with me one-on-one coaching or in group settings, or just continue to listen to these conversations to really, at the end of the day, just help you rewire, to help you reconnect the dots, and to help you see that our existence is very similar. We might not come from the same backgrounds, we might not have the same end result, but we definitely are going through that same thing of how do we interpret this language to the best way possible. And then sometimes we get to see someone understand what we understand, and light up their world through inspiring their world, really, through the inspiration that we have aligned ourselves to. And then sometimes we won't get to fully see the impact, the true impact that you have in this world. So an encouragement to celebrate your wins, to continue learning how to alchemize your pain into beauty, and to start seeing, how can I make this story beautiful? If I had to look back, however many years you have started, or maybe you're just starting, take a note for yourself and just go, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 10 years ago, what do I want from this version? What story do I want to tell? And then allow that story to avail itself to so many other things that you never knew were possible. And to celebrate yourself. Really, at the end of the day, is I've had to go on my personal journey where I had to learn how to celebrate myself. So once you learn how to celebrate yourself, and you don't need to rely on people to celebrate you by the actions that you do, it gives you that peace, once again, that surpasses your own understanding, that you can't explain it, but you just definitely know, that's what I want. Whatever that is, I want to keep tapping myself into that. But in order to keep tapping yourself into that, it takes dedication, because this is building relationship, a true relationship with God, because God is intervening on your behalf with these messages. Even now, this is a message for you. And the question goes, are you listening? Are you listening? And are you picking up the phone? Are you ready to hear the message? So we're just going to open up a lot of conversations, because my work is extremely diverse and it's beautiful, and I'm also having to learn the language. And as I learn the language, to be able to just really hold that respect for it whilst I bring it down from the spirit world to the physical world. But we're going to do this together. And no matter how long it takes, we're just going to continue, because I know you know as a teacher, I know you know the artist, I know you know the healer. I know that deep down, what keeps you going is this connection, and you know that God is communicating through you. And that is way more powerful than what the earthly needs can meet. So I'm going to love and leave, and this was just a little bit of food for thought.